In this video, we're going to take a look at the campground at Lake Kissimmee State Park in Lake Wales, Florida. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Well, I am at Lake Kissimmee State Park, and in this video we are going to do a review of the campground. If you want to see my video of our stay at Lake Kissimmee State Park, check that out. I'll put a link right up here. You can check that out. But guys, let's get right into the campground review. Lake Kissimmee State Park is located in Lake Wales, Florida, in the center of the state. It's just south of Orlando and east of Tampa, and is easily accessed by the majority of the state of Florida, including Fort Myers, Miami, Ocala, and Gainesville. Here's a look at the Lake Kissimmee State Park map. As you can see, this park has a number of hiking trails and a lot of water surrounding the park with Lake Rosalie and Lake Kissimmee. The campground is indicated by the red arrow. It's not a large campground, but it does consist of two campground circles and some nice amenities. Here's a look at the campground map. So as you can see, the campground is oriented into two loops with a restroom facility in the middle of those loops. Let's take a look at the restroom facilities. So the black squares indicated by the red arrows are the restrooms. They are full-service restroom facilities with running water, hot showers, and flush toilets, and they also have laundry facilities. Here's a look at the outside of the restroom. That shed there with the doors open, that's where the laundry facilities are, and we're going to take a look at that in just a second. We're going to head into the men's side of the restroom, and as I always say, sorry ladies, you are on your own. I don't want to hear screaming or get kicked out of the campground, so I don't film the women's side. But here is a look at the men's side of the restroom. So as we make our way in, you can see this restroom is really nice. It's nice and clean with sinks and mirrors, and then some urinals. And then we have some bathroom stalls. Two of the stalls are regular stalls. They look like that. And then a handicap stall. Then moving on, we get into the shower facilities. So there's a couple of shower stalls that are standard shower stalls. So pretty good size. Here's a second shower stall. And then we'll wander into the handicap stall. So quite a bit of room in this handicap stall with grab bars, an adjustable shower head so you can raise and lower it, a nice bench for sitting. This was a really nice restroom, and it was kept clean. The camp hosts and staff did a great job of making sure this was a restroom that was nice and clean. So here's a look at the laundry facility. So it's a washer and dryer. They're both coin operated, and then there's a bench on each side for sorting and folding clothes. And so the coin operation is washers 25 minutes for $1.25 and 45 minutes dryer for $1.25. Let's take a look at an example campsite. We use campsite 48 as our example campsite. This is the campsite that we stayed in when we were there, and I found this site to be excellent. It's a great example of the sites that you'll find, especially on the outer loops. So here's a look at campsite 48 first from the loop road. And traffic travels in one direction on the loop road, so that's nice. There were a lot of kids on bikes and playing games in the road, so just be careful, especially if you're camping on weekends. There's a lot of kids in the campground. And as you can see, the campsite numbers are painted on the road, so it's easy to find. And as we make our transition into the site, you'll see that the site is gravel or sand. It's level. It has water and electric hookup. So here's a look. There's the water and the electric hookup. I'm going to open the box here. It does have 20 amp, 30 amp, and 50 amp service. So that's really, really nice. Has all your hookups there. The box is lit too at night, and that light is pretty bright, so it was kind of a bummer. Here's a walk through the back of the site, and as you can see, there's a great view of the kind of the woods behind the site. Site's equipped with a picnic table, some nice trees for shade, has a fire pit with grill grate. Lots of deer walk through there. That is a look at Site 48. An excellent site. Let's take a driving tour. Okay, so we are going to follow the path with the red arrows, and we're going to take a trip through the first camping loop. So as we start on the road here, this is the main road to the park. If you continue to go straight, you'll head down to the boat ramp. We're going to turn left into the campground, which you can see is well marked with the sign. This is really a beautiful park through really nice pines and a palmetto understory. Just a beautiful part of Central Florida. And as we drive in, off to the left is going to be the dump station, and we will end our driving tour at the dump station, but I just thought I'd mention it. So again, a beautiful drive into the campground. So off to the left there is the exit of the dump station, and that is one way. And we're going to turn left, coming up right here where those dumpsters are, and go through sites 1 through 30. And as you can see, there are dumpsters and recycling. So this little road here is 2 ways, but then once you get to the loop, it's a 1-way loop. So we're going to hang a right. And you can see the campsite numbers on the pavement there, so that's Site 3 to the left. So really, really beautiful campground. There's Site 4 to the left there, and Site 5 to the right. And I really like the sites on the outside of the loop, but the sites on the inside of the loop offer quite a bit of privacy as well. Some pretty good vegetation, block sight lines for the most part. There's Site 7 to the left, Site 8 to the right, and Site 9. And as you can see, most of these sites are pretty large. So even if you have, a big RV or a big travel trailer, there's typically plenty of room to get your rig in there, or if you've got a large tent, like a cabin tent or something like that, you should have no problem being able to pitch something like that in this campground. There's Site 14 to the right. 15 to the left. And then there are a number of trails that head into the center of the loop that all lead to the restroom. So depending on where you're camping, you should be able to just grab one of those trails and head into the restroom. There's Site 19 to the right, so we're about halfway through the circle. Site 20, 21. Site 22 to the left there. There's one of the trails to the restroom. So you really can't go wrong with sites in this campground, I don't think. There's not any that I walked by or drove by where I said, man, I don't want to camp there. And that's unusual because a lot of campgrounds I go to, I sit there and go, boy, I don't want that side, I don't want that side. But all of these sites are pretty nice. There's Site 25 off to the right. It's another nice site. And as we're coming towards the end of this site, there's site 26, site 27 to the left, '28 to the right, 29 to the left, and then the final one on the right there is going to be site 30. There are 30 sites in the first loop and 30 sites in the second loop. All right, so we're going to head out of loop 1 and head into loop 2, following the path with the red arrows. So one thing is this road right here is a little narrow, but it is two ways, so if you got somebody rolling in who's pretty big, you know, just share the road. Off to the right there, once we make the turn, you can see all those vehicles parked there. That's extra vehicle parking, so if you have extra vehicles and you don't have enough room at your site, you can park them there. Alright, so we have entered loop 2, and loop 2 is very similar to loop 1, so there's site 31 off to the right and 32 to the left. Again, lots of vegetation between sites. You know, for the most part, you're not camping right next to your neighbor. Gives you a feeling of seclusion and privacy. I really like that. There's site 35 off to the right and 36 to the left, and then as you can see there's a trail to the restroom, and they're really well marked, so there's, you know, the signs always say, you know, to the restrooms or whatever, which is really nice. There's 39 to the right and 40 to the left. And then 41 to the right and 42 to the left. All the oaks in this campground make for really great shade, which is really important, especially in the summertime. And as I said, the amount of wildlife in this campground is amazing. Deer walk through the campground, you have armadillos, we heard owls, just all kinds of wildlife, which was awesome. There's site 47 to the right. If you have an airboat, this is an excellent place to bring an airboat. Here's some of the kids I mentioned watching out for. There's site 48 off to the right. That's the site where we did the example site, and that was our site. Cargo campers parked there. 49 off to the left, there's another path to the restroom. Site 50 off to the right. About halfway around the circle now. So most of these sites are pretty easy to back into, but if you have a really long rig, you might have to do a little bit of work, but overall, I didn't see many people struggling to get into or out of their sites. Passing 54 and 55. And 56 and 57. Here's site 58. Site 59, and site 60 is the last site in the campground. As we make our way out of the loop, we're going to go ahead and turn right again. So we're going to take our right and head out of loop 2, and then we're going to head towards the dump station. So again, there's extra car parking off to the left there. And then off to the right are some trash dumpsters, as well as some recycling bins. And here's the entrance to the dump station. So this dump station is only one lane, so keep that in mind. A lot of the places we go are two, so definitely going to want to watch out for backups. And it also has potable water off to the right over here. And that's a drive-in tour of the campground at Lake Kissimmee State Park. Well guys, I hope you found that review useful. We really enjoyed our stay at Lake Kissimmee State Park. What an awesome place to camp. This campground is fantastic. Really, really nice sights. So guys, Camp Outside exists to help moms and dads get their kids outside camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get you and your kids outside. So if you have any questions about camping at Lake Kissimmee State Park, drop something in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can hit me up on my website at campoutside.com or my other social media at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like the video, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and hit that little bell icon that notifies you when we release new videos. We're going to have a whole lot more content coming from camping in Florida, so stay tuned to our channel for a whole lot more from Lake Kissimmee State Park and elsewhere around the state. And guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.